In terms of our operational budget, what percentage of that budget is staff salaries? Approximately.
78.
Mr. Barr is saying about 78%.
All right, so 78% of our operational budget is based on salaries. Where do we fall in the state in terms of paying teachers? Starting salary, for example.
So, Mr. Dean, you want to just help and make sure I'm not stating something inaccurately. So we're actually third highest in
terms of salaries.
Correct, for our teachers. I know you heard some public comments just in the last 2 months saying we want to be number one. We need to be cautious when we say that because we're up there right now. And you want to take over from here?
Yeah, so based on the state DOE report and most recent data is based on 2013-14, our beginning teacher salary is 4th in the state, and our average teacher salary is 3rd.
Okay, so average
So go
is
with the
third.
average, because the third, yeah,
All
because
right. And, who are
beginning
first
was
and
done
second?
for a retention factor, but the average is really what is important.
The average is more reflective than of the costs associated for teacher salaries.
And who are first and second?
First and second for
Do you know?
average, Sarasota and Monroe.
Now let's talk about that for a minute. There's a reason they're number one and number two. Sarasota has a special tax that's put on for theirs so they can afford to be number one. We don't have a special tax that's for that. It's written, is my understanding, it's written if that tax goes away, then the salaries are cut. It's already built into that. So if they took that tax away, you would see them drop dramatically. Number two is Monroe, just for the public's knowledge. I know everybody knows here. This is the Keys down in Key West, Key Largo. They, one, have a very big recruitment issue, and two, have an enormous cost factor difference to be able to live there. So they would need to have a very high salary to attract the people. We're number three, and you notice that when Mr. Spencer shared that DCD, differential cost difference, the state recognizes our cost of living here being high. That's why they kick in more and put it over the 1.03 mark. We know it's high. We know currently, if you even look right, so already what we're saying is when we had the recruitment and retention work session the other month, one of the things we mentioned in there is that we do have a high salary. We have it for a reason, to help our people out. So one of the things that you know right now is if you just went out and try to look at average cost of a home right now in a community, we already know it's escalating right back up again. How do we know that? We know that because we already have our county conducting workforce development home. So they know we're going to run into a problem, nursing's going to run into a problem, the starting police officers are going to run into a problem. So we recognize that our community knows that we need to be careful in what we're doing. So when Debbie, Terry, and Ian shared with us the recruitment and retention, we're not saying we don't have a problem. Everybody still has a problem. That's one of the ways we've been able to mitigate our problem, is to have that higher salary. And then again, when it's 78% of our salaries, it is a concern. On top of that, unlike in the business world, we have unions that we work with, so it's not quite as easy for the educational world to just say, let's do this, because you actually have unions that often, as I talk in the community to people are surprised. They don't think about the fact it's not just a teachers union. We have 3 unions, and it's great. We have good relationships. We work through things, but it's also not quite as easy in the non-public sector to be able to just do what people think is easy to do.